Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the AAA batteries. We're gonna focus on the Kyosho 800 milliamps battery and the Gens A 750. I did test these two, but I only did this test once for like 20 or even less than that, 20 laps. This one, I ran it twice in one day, around 100 laps total. No, more than 100 laps actually, like 150. Two sets. But we'll talk about that towards the end of these two, because these two I have been testing for I think 5 weeks total. This is for my MR04 Evo 2 5600 kV motor, our spec car. And what I do with the battery is I discharge from home. I go to the track, charge it at 1 amp. When it's fully charged, still hot, I put it on the car and do the test. That's for all of, this is the first week, second week, third week. I got five, I did it 5 times, okay? For these two back-to-back tests. For this battery, Gens A 750, I did 110 laps. I know no one is going to do 110 laps, but I figured maybe they want to see what it's like for endurance racing, charged at 1 amp. And that's why I did the 100 laps, 110 laps, 20 laps in a race, and also 46 laps, which is about 8 minutes, 10 minutes heat, okay? But we'll do this one later. That's the last one. So for Gens Ace, that's the first set that I tried on the track. I did 110 laps. Fast lap was 8.21. And that's around in the beginning of the first 3 minutes, okay? And then I had multiple 830s in the 50 lap range. And then at the end, lap 108, the fastest I could do was 831. So it's a tenth off. That's not bad, 110 laps. I'm only a tenth off, right? Then after this, I removed the Gens Ace, put this one in the car because I heard it peaked. It's hot. Put that on the car, and the fast lap I did was 8.26 in lap 106. Okay? At the end, lap 106, I hit 8.26. And the first 5 minutes, the most I can do was 8.30s. I hit multiple 8.31s and 8.32s. But the fastest 8.2 was 8.26, and I didn't hit any other 8.2s. So that's the difference, okay? 500 of a second difference between the two. At the end, it feels the same. The speed here from the beginning until the end, it felt the same. This one, I kind of noticed the drop off towards the end though, but it's still fast enough to compete with the Kyosho 800 after 100 laps, okay? It's not that slow. Like these two, I couldn't tell the difference. It felt like it was still the same, okay? It's just that in the beginning, the Gens Ace I can feel it's faster than this Kyosho. A week later, I went back to the track. This one is 20. I did 20 laps only. Hot pack. Like I just wanted to see if the car is gonna drop off quick enough on the speed, but it didn't really. 20 laps felt the same, which is I want to say around 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes. And the fastest lap I can do, you can see the difference in the lap time, 9 seconds, because it's a bigger track. This is the first battery I tried, the Kyosho 800. The fast lap I can do was 823. Really, I was trying to push the car to do, sorry, not 8.2, 9.23. I was trying to push the car to 9.1. I know the car can do 9.1, but I wasn't able to hit it. So this 20 laps, before I did this 20 laps test, I was driving the car around trying to get to 9.1. I can only do 9.2. So I figured when the battery is hot, I'm going to throw the battery in the car and see if I can hit 9.1, and I couldn't. Okay? But when the Gens Ace was peaked at the track, I did 20 laps, hot lap, and I hit 9.1s right away, and then a fast lap of 9.06. Both I did in 20 laps, okay? And that's the gap, okay? It's a pretty big gap, okay? And then I don't want to talk about this race. Let's just talk about it a little bit, but this is not fair because when I did the Gens Ace, so here's the lap time. Kyosho 9.42, Gens Ace 9.08, 30 laps, 31 laps. This is in a race, on a race night. And it's not fair because I wrote it down not realizing that when I did the 750, I replaced the rear tires to brand new tires. And when I ran the Kyosho 800, I remember the car on one left sweeping turn, the car was kind of squaring. So I had to back off the throttle. So because of that, the lap time was only 9.4. I couldn't go any faster, 9.4, 9.5. Meanwhile, with the brand new rear tires, I was able to carry a lot more corner speed around that left-hand sweeper, short sweeper. And that's the reason why it's not fair. So the lap times here is not right. I didn't realize that when I was writing it down. Okay, so we're not gonna include that. Next, oh, that's not it. Next test is this one. Okay, I did 5 weeks and I did it more than 5 times to be honest, but I didn't want to include too many numbers. Okay, so I'm only gonna include 3 numbers: one first week, second week. Oh yeah, let's not include this one, and then let's just say this is the 4th week, so just 3. Okay, now the first battery I tested this time is the Gens Ace 750, 46 laps for both. Fast lap I did was 7.29. This is also a new track. Okay, every weekend it's a brand new track, from open big high-speed layout to big technical tight layout, which is the Kyosho Cup 2024 layout, and then to a really small 20 by 12 size technical but high speed layout. It's for whatever reason it gotten really fast, like in my 3500, because it's small, everything seems so quick and zippy that on the sweeper, the right hand sweeper, I'll post a picture of the layout. The right hand, I can full throttle it to make that right turn chicane in my 3500. But anyway, let's go back to my mini Z car here. So fast lap 7.29, also hot battery. Okay, number of times I hit 7.20. The fast lap is 7.29. 7.3s I hit it 3 times. 7.4s I hit it 7 times. With the Kyosho 800, fast lap I did was 7.39, a tenth off, okay? And then 7.3s, I didn't hit any. And then 7.4, I hit it 7 times. Now, if you compare the two, this is faster. I hit 7.3s 3 times, 7.4, 7 times, okay? And with 1.72s. Okay, so between the Kyosho 800 and the Gens Ace 750, the lap time difference is, I want to say, average a tenth. This is a tenth faster than this. Now, on the track, this feels a little like the Punch. It feels lower than this car. This car, you can feel that there's punch. It's faster, okay? Well, with this, it's fast, but it doesn't have that punch, and it's consistent from lap 1 to lap 100, like here. Okay, it's so consistent, but it doesn't feel flat. Like some of the batteries, they feel flat, and I have one of those, and that battery I also tested. I did 126 laps with the flat battery. The most I can do was 8.5. Okay, so that battery was actually an old PN battery. It was just flat. This one doesn't feel flat. It's still got the speed, but at the same time, this one, that a tenth faster, you can actually feel the tenth faster with this battery. This battery is not super fast, okay? This is not the battery I would probably use when I show up at a race because it's not that fast. It's fast, it's just not that, it doesn't have that full punch, you know, like some of the batteries that I'm gonna talk in a little bit. However, I like this battery, but I like this more. Why? Because it's cheaper, slightly cheaper, but it's fast. Okay, faster than this. And you can feel, let's just say they're both doing 8.21. This one, the punch in the beginning of the, when you pull the throttle, when you want that punch, you hit the full throttle, right? And you have that punch coming out of the corner. This one, when you hit the full throttle, coming out of the corner, that punch is just not there. The power output on this is smooth. This is smooth too, but it just has that little more edge, you know, like that little bit of punch, just a little bit. With this, I like that punch that's coming out of this battery a little more than this. I wouldn't even say that this is punchy. This one is not punchy either, but it has more punch than this. You know what I mean? But this, the speed is consistent. You can feel that entire 6 minutes. There's no drop off. You have the punch in the beginning of the first minute all the way to that 6 minute. That punch feels the same. This one, the first minute to 6 minutes, it feels the same. There's no, the punch, it's kind of like it's not there, but it's still punchier than a flat battery. Okay, it still has that speed, just doesn't have that torque when you come out of the corner. This one, I can make the back end kind of break traction a little bit, not a lot. Okay, just a little bit. This one, that's not happening. I can't. But I don't know if it's because the set that I have, I only have one, and I have 2 sets of the Gens Ace. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have maybe I got the bad one. I don't know. Okay, maybe I don't know if they all feel like this. Maybe the other sets are faster. Okay, I don't know. But with the Gens Ace, the 2 sets that I have, consistent. They both feel identical. This one, I only have a set, so I can't tell. But as for my test, this is the result. This is a tenth faster compared to this one. And this feels like this in terms of longevity, the duration, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. This feels like this, except this one has more punch. Now, with the PN900 battery, I did this test also. I did it, all 3 of them. I actually did 5 batteries that day, but we're only going to talk about these 3 for right now. This, and that. With the PN900, I did 110 laps. The fast lap I did was 8.12. In lap 94, I was only able to do 8.43. Lap 108, 8.31. This one is 8.43. This one is 8.26 in lap 106. Look at the gap, okay? This is the PN900. Now, on lap 5, I hit 8.12 fast lap, which is the fastest lap that my car was able to do that day. And then lap 16, look at the drop off. Same battery, 8.36. Lap 39, 8.40. Lap 49, 8.39. From 8.1 to 8.4. Okay? In 50 laps. That drop off, you can feel on the track. And that's from a really, really punchy car, a lot of torque, kind of like you're driving your LiPo car, then all of a sudden in the middle of the race, you switch to AAA battery. That's what it felt like. It didn't take long, like maybe a minute or 2 from 8.1 to 8.3. Okay? Meanwhile, look at the Kyosho. The fastest I was doing here on the first 20 laps was 8.30, and then at 106, 8.2. Fast lap here was 8.21 in the first 20 laps. And lap 100, 8.3s. So the feel is consistent. The feel is consistent. This one, the feel is not consistent. So even though this is, for me, it's fast, the fastest battery if you want to drop a fast lap, but for 50 laps, you can feel that drop off. Okay, look, at lap 16, I wasn't able to see from lap 16, the fastest I can do is 8.3. There's no 8.2 in between 16 all the way down to 50 laps. There isn't any. 8.2 happened from lap 1 to lap 15, and that's it. I also hit another 8.1, which is lap number 6. So just imagine 15 laps, you're fast, and then after that, it's slower than these two. That drop off throws off your driving. At least it does for me. So I have to readjust my driving because now the punch is gone, right? And that's what makes me drive the car very inconsistent, because I have to drive the car differently from 1 to 2 minutes, and then 3 to 5 or 3 to 8 minutes, I have to readjust the way I would drive the car. And the gap between 8.1 on that first 2 minutes and then 8.3 on the next 4 minutes or whatever. That was a little bit of a struggle for me to do with. I mean, I can drive it because it's not a fast car. It's a slow car. It's just that the drop off is so noticeable, unlike these two. Okay. And also because our cars are spec, we are not running the top shock, although you can. I don't want to do it because I don't want to kind of introduce my car with all these upgrades and the locals thinking that in order for you to hit 8.2, you got to buy what I have. No. So that's the reason why I'm keeping it. I kept it the same as I did on my first initial video of this car. No upgrades, no grease, just grease here. Just so to let the locals know there is no need to be, ceramic bearings and top shock, expensive top shock, upgrade front springs, the lower the car down. There isn't any. I don't even check the ride height on this thing. I do rotate the tires and grease that. And once a month, I would rebuild the diff, and that's it. Okay? Okay, so if this glass was open, the spec is more open, then I would run this battery and set up the car for that battery charge at lower amp, maybe 800, 0.8, as opposed to 1 amp. Okay? Then I would run the shock here so that I can use all that punch. I think I could have hit 8.0 if I was able to fine tune the car. But for consistency of the test, I didn't do any changes. Same body, same tires, different batteries. Okay? But I could have hit 8.0 and this would have been maybe 8.3 if I would have fine tuned the car. Okay? But again, I unfortunately I cannot change the lap times. It is still going to be slower towards the end of the battery, the end of the race, or the duration of the practice or your race. You're going to feel that drop off. I think this maybe would be better if it was charged at 0.9 maybe, or 0.8, this battery. Okay, I'm only going to talk about this a little bit because I only did maybe 40 laps on this car. I couldn't drive it. I couldn't drive this battery on this car. It is just so punchy that I was overshooting the corner. I couldn't even match my fast lap at 8.2s or 8.1. I couldn't. It's just so fast that I was actually getting a little frustrated because the car was limited. It's understeering a lot on power because the throttle feels like an on-off switch now, and the car would squat down. It feels like every time I hit the full throttle, the car would lift. There is no steering on power when I have this because there's just so much torque so much torque. And the tires I have on here are Marca 10s, which is our spec, and it has enough grip that it would squat the rear end down and make the front end light. It won't steer. So I couldn't drive this car. So I didn't want to run it. Like I said, if the car is not limited in modification, I would run this with the proper setup. You know, I'm probably not going to show up at a race with this battery because I know this is the fastest. So I'll figure something out to make this run from lap 1 up until lap from first minute to the 4-minute runtime. Maybe charge it at 0.7. Okay, but this battery is the fastest out of these three for me. I haven't tried the other batteries, and I'm not going to do any testing the batteries anymore because I'm not trying to find something faster. Okay, I just want something that's smooth. The power output is smooth. This one feels like the opening of the throttle is smooth. You know, like if you see the water flow, and this is the gate that blocks the water. It opens slowly with this. When you're rolling your finger on the throttle, it opens slowly. This opens faster. This one's like, it's like an on-off switch, you know. A little bit of throttle, but it's just open. So the whole time it's like full speed. I couldn't control it. It's like the ICS setting is at punch 10. I couldn't control it at all. And that's not my style of driving. I know there's a lot of people with box stock racing or a slower speed car wants even in the 2500, I've driven those cars, you know, and they want the car to just like an on-off switch. It's just full throttle every time they barely tap the throttle. It's like full speed, you know. But that's their driving style, right? That's not my style of driving. I want it linear. Okay, this is my style of driving. Some people is full throttle here, and this is deadband. Nothing is happening here, you know, with the other car setting. Just different driving style. For me, that's not my style. I want to be able to feel that weight transfer when I release the throttle a little bit just to make a sharper turn. Okay, I don't want to have to let go to neutral position just to feel that weight transfer and then hit the throttle again. That's not my style of driving, and this is just my style. And I know other people drive the same way as I do, but there are a lot of people out there that drives on off. But that's their style of driving. It doesn't mean it's a bad style of driving. That's just their style. Okay, I'm just saying that I personally want to be able to roll my finger and feel that weight transfer in the car. Okay, and to do that, I have to run these two, or if I have to run these two, I have to run, maybe, I don't know yet. Okay, but I think I have to charge it lower. Instead of 1 amp, it'll be like maybe 0.7, and this may be 0.8, okay, or 0.9, who knows. But definitely lower, definitely not 1 amp because I couldn't drive it. All right, I don't know what I did before, but I used to run this in my PN70 car, and I can actually drive it. But then again, this is faster than the PN70, so maybe that's why. But anyway, so that's that. And as of right now, I end up buying more. I was gonna get these two because it's fast, but I'm going for consistency, so I end up buying more of the Gens Ace battery and going to just stick to those because of our spec car. I'm not trying to make the car faster. I just want it consistent, okay? From lap 1 all the way to lap 50, consistent feel. And that's why I'm choosing this. If you're going for speed, definitely I would suggest this one because it is faster. You just need to figure out the amp you want to charge it at. I know other people charge it at over 1 amp. Yeah, that's up to you. I don't recommend that. I think it's going to start leaking, but you can, I know other people charges higher than that or around that 1.2, 1.5, whatever. Yeah, for big races, I would use this only because you can tone it down a little bit. You can control it, you know, with the proper setup of the car and make use of all that power. So the fastest battery is this one for me, and most consistent is this one with the speed. Okay, it's a long video, sorry about that. Anyways, thanks.